Thank you all for being here tonight. My name is Lilian, and I'm the Senior Director of Programs at the JCC. I wanted to begin by acknowledging that we are gathered on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh Nations. We are grateful to live, work, and gather on these lands. We are also deeply grateful to the Jewish Community Center of Greater Vancouver for providing a home for this gallery. A place where we can celebrate Jewish art, Jewish artists, and Jewish culture in all its richness and diversity. It is especially meaningful to gather during Jewish Heritage Month, a time to honor and share the stories, creativity, and contributions of Jewish communities and Jewish individuals, including Lilian Broca, a local Jewish treasure.
I'm Sarah Dobbs. I'm the curator at the Sidney and Gertrude Zack Gallery in the Jewish Community Center in Vancouver, and I'm absolutely delighted to be hosting the launch of Lilith, Paintings and Drawings by Lilian Broca. I have known Lilian for about 30 years, actually. We met when I was studio manager, and we started talking and became friends. And I've always had such a great admiration of her work. The thing that I really love about her is she takes women, biblical women, mythological women, and really pushes the feminist story. Her work is always heavily based in research, thorough academic research. She's so skilled technically, but she brings to life the stories that we may not, she kind of unearths the stories that we may not always think of when we think about Lilith.
Since the early 1980s, Lilian has explored the many dimensions of the human condition, depicting powerful mythical women, not only Lilith, but also Esther, Judith, and Mary Magdalene. She looks at them as role models whose experiences are relevant to our contemporary society and gender issues. This bold exhibition arrives at a moment of renewed attention to women's rights, gender narratives, and cultural reinterpretation, offering audiences a visual, striking, and intellectual provocative experience.
The story that I have chosen to show is not the story in the canon, but it is a story that is found in biblical literature outside the Bible itself. And the story there is that Lilith and Adam were created at the same time by God. They were created equal. Well, Adam did not want to accept equality with Lilith. He thought that he should be ruling and he's more important than she was. And they didn't get along very well, and he got upset and also vicious, and she decided to leave him. Now, to leave in those days when they were alone in the Garden of Eden, which supposedly was their only location that they knew, and to just leave into the unknown was unheard of, because nothing was safe. Only where they were was safety. But she could not accept him to rule over her. She couldn't accept his superiority. She claimed that she was equal to him. And so she uttered the ineffable name of God and sprouted wings and flew outside of the Garden of Eden. Because at that particular time, men could not accept a woman's superiority or even her sense of equality, they decided to change the story, and they changed the story to such an extent that they turned her into a demon. And the story affected women's lives and social status for the following centuries, if not millennia. The actual number of works is approximately 58. 58 works on Lilith took me 6 years. For me, making art is not simply an instinctive act of self-expression. It is a meeting of mind and spirit, a deliberate and reflective process shaped by research, engagement, and skill. Since the early 1980s, when I turned from abstraction towards a more representational approach, my work has remained rooted in an ongoing exploration of the complex realities of human experience. As with my earlier series, the Lilith works emerged from deep and sustained research. Through this process, I came to see how a society's creation myth has the power to shape its values, its traditions, moral codes, and even social structures. In turning to Lilith and her counterpart, Eve, the two central figures within Judaic and Christian origin stories, I found a powerful and enduring source of inspiration. I began with the familiar biblical narrative of Adam and Eve as the first human pair. Then I turned to lesser-known Judaic texts that tell of Lilith and Adam as the original couple. Within these parallel stories, I discovered a compelling tension. Lilith as a figure of independence and self-determination, and Eve as one shaped by submission and hierarchy. In this series, I portray Lilith as eternally youthful, alluring, spiritual, independent, and resolute. Her nudity is essential as a reflection of a time before shame, before the need for clothing. This avoids tying the work to any specific time period that requires a particular style of clothing as well. Ultimately, it is my hope that these works contribute to Lilith's enduring story and to her struggle for gender equality and recognition. I also hope they speak beyond their origins, touching on a universal truth that the balance and equality between women and men must be lived and realized if humanity and the values we hold dear are to endure. So, many, many heartfelt thanks to the exceptional curator and good friend, Sarah Dobbs, who worked ceaselessly for many months to make this exhibition successful, to present the artwork so well in this space, and to organize both this event and the following PowerPoint presentation on the 26th of May, all of which necessitated a great deal of effort on her part. A huge thank you to my Lilith models, who in the 1990s were so generous with their time. To visual artist Camrose Ducote, who posed for 90% of the artworks, and to my beautiful niece Nancy Gabor, who posed for the remainder of the drawings, a few times even with her husband, Cam Mathewson. Thank you all so much. I'm also very grateful and thank the Averbach Family Foundation, the Jewish Federation of Greater Vancouver, and Ben Schneiderman for sponsoring this exhibition, as well as to the JCC staff who produced the beautiful trifold pamphlet and the online flipbook. Finally,
As always, I thank my bestie, my trusty, loving, generous husband of 55 years for putting up with me, David Goodman. Thank you.